Welcome back to Double Take from our kitchen. We've been having a good time doing this all summer. Let us know whether you like it or not. Maybe we'll do some more. Maybe later in the fall, we'll do some fall things. This is my recipe for a classic cheesecake with fruit on top, which is great for summertime. So the stuff that you can buy in the boxes at the store are not really cheesecake. And people think that cheesecake is hard, and it's not. And I really like this recipe. It's very light, it's really easy, and we're even going to do our own crust. So this recipe particularly calls for a graham cracker crust, but I'm not going to do that because I decided to do vanilla wafers instead. I thought it went better with the fruit. So I've already ground up about a cup of vanilla wafers to a nice powder, and then we're going to melt 3 tablespoons of butter. So I'm going to put that in the microwave, get that started. And we're preheating the oven to 325. First we're going to bake the crust for a few minutes, and then we're going to do the cheesecake. So while that's going, okay, so we have a cup of vanilla wafers. We're going to add 3 tablespoons of sugar to this. So we got 1, 2, 3. Okay, let's see what the butter's doing. Good. Perfect. So now we're gonna put all this in, and this is going to be our crust. And I've got a 9-inch springform pan. Anyway, I've been making cheesecakes forever, and they're just so good. One of my favorite things. And this one has a special topping before you put on the fruit, so it's really good. So we're going to get this all mixed up well, and we're going to press it into the bottom of the springform pan. I haven't made cheesecake in a while, have I, Rick? He said no. You can't hear him shake his head from back there. So we thought since we made main dishes, we'd do desserts this time around. But I don't know that I'd want cheesecake after lasagna. All right. That looks pretty good. So now we're going to press it into the bottom of this springform pan by hand. And I always used to worry that these pans would leak, but they don't. But if you're worried about it, you can put a cookie sheet underneath. All right. So we're going to spread it out kind of even and press it down a bit. And don't worry if you've got little chunks of cookies. Sometimes, it calls for a graham cracker crust. And sometimes I get the graham crackers with the cinnamon in them, just depending on what I'm putting in the filling, because that's really good too. So hopefully you can see this being pressed down. So this is, as soon as I get it together, it's going to go into the oven at 325 for about 10 minutes. And while that's cooking, we'll do the filling. So you want to get it up just a little over the edges, I think. All right. I think that works. So, all right, so as soon as the oven heats up to 325, we'll put that in there. And in the meantime, let me put this aside. I went ahead and put 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese in the bowl just to let it get soft. And I went ahead and also let we have 3 eggs that I let those get to room temperature. I think that helps it to keep from cracking. But the cool thing about this particular recipe is if the top cracks, you have another little topping that goes on top, and so nobody will know. And then fruit. So anyway, because I haven't figured out how to not make the cheesecake crack just yet. So we're waiting on the oven. So I guess I could just move ahead with this. I'll do that. Okay, so in this mixing bowl, we've got 2 packages of cream cheese, and we're going to add a 1/2 cup of sugar, which I've already got measured out here. And we're going to squeeze out some lemon juice and do some lemon rind, and then we're going to put it on the mixer. So, second. All right, I've got this cool little juicer thing because it measures the tablespoons on the bottom, and it calls for a tablespoon of lemon juice. So that's what we're going to do. So let's see. I would guess a 1/2 lemon is probably all we're going to need for that. Let's see what we got here. Oops, that's 2. Well, we'll just pour part of it in there then. That's probably good. And we want some lemon zest. So I should have done this before I cut it in half, but oh well. So it calls for about a teaspoon. And I'll put in, I like it. Such a good flavor, especially when you've got all the fruit on top. The lemon in the cheesecake just makes it good. Rick, do you like cheesecake, my dear?
I do like cheesecake.
Whoops. Yeah. Remember to do the grating before you cut it in half, but I got sidetracked. Rick was distracting me. As usual. So we're starting with the cream cheese, the sugar, the lemon juice, and lemon rind, and we need some vanilla. We need 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. Let's see. All right. Whoops. Don't pound your spoons on the bowl if you're recording, because Rick will yell. Okay, so we're going to mix this up a bit. And let's see, until it's blended. We can do that. So, oh, you know what? Always plug the mixer in, Rick. We are professionals here. This is why we podcast and we don't do this. So we're going to let that go a bit. So, let's get some of that off of there. Most of this is going to come off. Oh, okay. So now we can put the crust in the oven for 10 minutes because it's ready to go. All right. So back to this. Get some of this off of here, and then Well, you know what? This is just not working. So there we go. Don't pound on the side of the bowl. We'll just not do that. Okay. So the next thing we do, I believe, are the eggs. And we're going to put the eggs in one at a time as it's, and beat it after each one. So. Can I beat the egg on the side of the bowl, Rick?
Already have.
How else I'm supposed to break the egg? To make a cheesecake, you got to break a few eggs. Okay. All right. That's going. I'm going to stop and scrape the sides down a bit. We good? Okay. Smell the lemon. Smells so good. This is an old mixer. It's actually my dad's. And I used to leave my kids over at his house sometimes while I ran errands, and he would let them bake, and he would tell me that when they came back they would turn it on high, even they told him not to, and they would just splatter batter everywhere. Of course, he thought it was funny. Let's see how that looks. Need a smaller spatula. This is just not working. All right. So, there we go. Whoops. So we're going to get all this off of here. Yes, this is the way the professional cooks do it, with their fingers. And as soon as the crust is done, we can pour it on top. Okay. Oh, that's down there too, but all right, so we're gonna make sure this is not lumpy. Looks pretty good. A little bit of, I think part of the reasons that cheesecakes crack is because I think we beat them too much. I think it whips in too much air. I think that's the problem. So as soon as the crust is out of the oven, then we'll pour it on top. So you wanna wait a minute? Okay, crust is ready, so we're gonna take it out and we're gonna put the filling in. All right. Yeah, that looks good. Just a little brown. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, now we're going to put this on top. Okay. And we're just going to spread it out to the edges. Try to make it kind of even. And we don't want to lose any of it. Okay. Okay, so I think we're gonna just kind of jiggle it a little bit so that it's kind of level. Okay, and then we're gonna put it back in. It's still at 325, and it's gonna be in there for 50 minutes, 50. There we go. Okay, set the timer. Okay, now I mentioned before, there's a topping for this cheesecake, and it's just really good and really simple. So we can go ahead and put that together. It just adds a little, I don't know, it just adds a little something. I just like the way it tastes. Would you like me to move the vanilla?
I didn't know if you were doing it.
No, I'm getting ready to use it right now. Okay, so the topping is it's 8 ounces or a cup of sour cream. Well, sour cream's already soft. Rick. The cream cheese had to be soft. This is already soft. So it's that 8 ounces of sour cream, a tablespoon of sugar, and then a teaspoon of vanilla. And that's it. You just stir it up. And then after the cake has baked for 50 minutes, then you spread this on top, which we'll do in 50 minutes. And then it goes back in for 10 more minutes. And it's really good, really good. So we've got this. We'll put this in the fridge for a while until we're ready. And in the meantime, I'm going to prepare some fruit for the top. I'm going to slice up some strawberries, and then we'll have some blueberries and a few raspberries, and we're going to make that be the topping for the cheesecake. Looks really pretty, and it's just, like I said, really good for summer. So now we wait. Our cheesecake is cooked for 50 minutes. It's getting a little brown. So now we're going to put on the topping, which is, again, the sour cream, vanilla, and sugar. And we're going to just spread that across the top. So far, nothing, the cheesecake hasn't cracked, so yay. Almost never happens. So I'm going to spread it out. Pretty good. Now we're going to put it back in the oven for 10 more minutes. Okay. And then we'll be done with that. We'll wait till it cools off. We'll do the fruit. Okay. So took the cheesecake out of the oven, and before I let it cool down, I just used a knife to kind of separate it from the rim of the pan. But you don't want to take the rim off until now when it's nice and cool. So we're gonna, there we go. We're just gonna pull that off. So now now it's nice and cool and ready, and I'm just gonna add some fruit to the top and make it look pretty. So the recipe actually calls for raspberry preserves, which is fine, but I think fresh fruit's better. So I'm just gonna put I'm just making this up, y'all. So put a few raspberries in the middle, just to make it look kind of pretty. And then I sliced up some fresh strawberries and just gonna kind of lay them around the top. No particular plan, I'm just gonna put them all out there. Oops. There we go. Okay. And I think I'll put a few more. Just so we have lots of fruit. Okay, so now I'm going to sprinkle some blueberries just kind of around. Oops, lost one. Let's put a few more around here. Okay. I think that adds a little color, and I think they're pretty. Let's put a little few more on the outside here. So I think that's probably enough. So I think it's done. We're just gonna chill it, and then when it's nice and chilled, we'll cut it up and we'll have some later. So that's my recipe for a classic cheesecake with fruit on top. So thanks. Let us know what you think. Bye, guys.